Now, Haiti, the poorest nation in the Americas, is facing a security and humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale. Haiti's security forces have launched a major anti-gang operation in Port-au-Prince, targeting the homes and strongholds of notorious criminal gangs led by figures like Jimmy Cherizier. With gangs controlling nearly 90% of the capital, millions displaced, and widespread food insecurity, the country teeters on the brink of collapse. Today, we explore the implications of these operations, the role of international support, and what this means for Haiti's political future and regional stability. To discuss this, I'm being joined by Alexander von Rugen, a global policy analyst. Thank you so much, Alexander, for joining us. Now, let me start off by asking, now, security operations and effectiveness, how effective can these large-scale anti-gang operations be in a city where we're talking about gangs controlling 90% of Port-au-Prince?
Well, the situation has basically evolved to one of anarchy. The UN has been in Haiti since 2004, and they've been ineffective. Now, the assassination and coup attempt in 2023 turned the country into a downward spiral. Kenyan forces, Kenyan police officers were brought in to remedy the matter, and that's been a dismal failure. It was a plan without a plan because, first of all, Haiti is primarily French-speaking, or Creole. It's a local dialect of French. Why would you send in predominantly English-speaking forces? It just didn't make any sense, and it's failed. So they are taking other approaches now, which I think will be much more effective, and we'll see how it plays out over the next few months.
Now, when it comes to the use of drones and modern tactics, what are the risks and benefits of, employing drone strikes, intensive military tactics in a densely populated urban area?
Urban warfare is complicated, and that's another problem that the Kenyans had. They weren't experienced in urban combat or guerrilla warfare, especially in centers which are highly populated. You've got a very high risk of collateral damage to innocent bystanders, which no one wants to take responsibility for. So with heightened technology such as drones that can pinpoint a target and helicopters, the theory is you're going to be much more effective and reduce the chance of civilian casualties, although in a case like Haiti, I think your collateral damage is going to be part of the equation.
All right, let's talk about the role of international forces. With 18 countries pledging support for Haiti's, anti-gang unit, how sustainable is foreign involvement, and can it replace local capacity in the long term?
No. In fact, it's again, Haiti's the poorest country of the world. If you look at what's been pledged, it takes the budgets I've seen. It takes $800 million a year for an effective security plan in Haiti. There's currently $112 million in the trust account. You've got multiple countries contributing, but as far as how to approach this, it's been paralysis through analysis and ineffectiveness. So Haiti's gone out now and hired private mercenary groups to help enforce and gain control of the streets again.
Now, talking about political instability and governance, I'm here thinking, how does Haiti's lack of elections for nearly a decade contribute to the growth of, gang power, and what reforms are urgently needed to restore order?
Well, the lack of elections, it's resulted in anarchy, and it's emboldened the gangs to take control of neighborhoods and now basically 85% of the whole country. So you have a cancer. You have a severe cancer in this body. Without cutting out the cancer, without having a plan to eradicate the cancer and make sure it doesn't return, it's going to take an aggressive approach. Once you've subdued the cancer, then you can have safe, democratic elections where people can come out and vote honestly without fear of intimidation or reprisal from gang members forcing them to not vote in the way they'd like to vote, or just shooting them. I mean, it's that's how gangs gain control, through intimidation and threats. Once that is suppressed, then you can involve in a proper democratic election by the people for the people.
Now, with about 1.4 million displaced people, and I'm talking millions facing acute food insecurity, how can security measures be balanced with protection of vulnerable populations?
That's the alchemy here. How do you affect a plan that targets the source of the cancer, at the same time not destroying the body of which the cancer is in? I'm using medical terms here because we could all be familiar with them, but that's the talent here. But without eliminating the cancer, the body will die. So as painful as it may seem to remove that cancer, it has to be done to save the body. So it's going to be an evolutionary process, and one that will require specific talents and a specific ingenuity to accomplish. And right now, bringing in a multitude of countries, the UN has failed here. Haiti is a failed state. Okay, it takes a more aggressive approach to get the job done, get rid of the cancer, and then build it up from scratch again to be a successful country. Haiti can be very productive. It's in the tropics. It had a great agricultural sector. It's just happened to be run by thugs right now. People are afraid to leave their homes. They're more struggling just to feed their own children. Aid packages are being intercepted by thugs. So you have to control the borders. You have to control all imports and the flow of weapons to the thugs as well. There's a multi-based plan that has to be effectuated here.
Alexander, just before I let you go, I just want to know, what lessons does Haiti's crisis hold for other countries, struggling with armed gangs, political instability, and even urban violence?
Well, they've chosen to bring in Eric Prince and his company Vectus Global, which is a mercenary group. He's got about 200 operatives there right now, snipers, drone operators. They're training the local police. The operators are also fluent in French. It's a multinational force from Europe, El Salvador, and U.S. and Canada. And they've been surveilling the area. They've been scoping it. They've brought snipers in. I think they're going to do a surgical removal of the gang problem. Probably going to target them in their own homes. There will be collateral damage for the families of those rebel groups or recognized terrorist groups. And I think we have to have a wait and see attitude. If it is effective and these strikes work, and it diminishes the control that the rebels have in the country, it will be the catalyst to order. Much similarly to what's going on as a solution in Nigeria, although I hate to compare Nigeria to Haiti. It's certainly not nearly as bad in Nigeria, but you have a problem. You've introduced a different approach with surgical strikes, attacking the bandits and the rebels in Nigeria. And for the time being right now, it's making very good progress. I think it's heightened the morale of the Nigerian military. And it's proven that it's not an attack on their sovereignty.
Mr. Alex, Mr. von Rugen, I apologize. I have to butt in here. That's because we are pressed for time. But I want to say a big thank you to you for having this conversation with us.